Shalom, shalom, mishpalka. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. Today I'm going to be talking about the difference between Natsarim and Netzarim. It's been asked many, many times, and so I'm finally getting around to answering it for you all. There is a difference. Basically, the controversy is huddled around a verse in Matthew chapter 2, verse 23, and it says, "And it came to pass that he dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene." This word Nazareth and Nazarene is a mistranslation of the Greek and the Hebrew. It should be Natsarit, and because of the Hebrew, it is not a Zayin, which has a Z sound, but it is a TS sound from the Zadi. And there's where the confusion lies. That's why sometimes you see it spelt with a Z and sometimes with an S. So we prefer the spelling with an S. Now, this is all based on Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 and 2, and it says, "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom, understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and the fear of Yahweh." So this word branch is the root word, Natsar, or Natsar, for the word where we get Natsarim. And so, it's about Yeshua being the branch. There's also another meaning. Instead of the word branch, it's also means protector. So these two definitions and these two meanings of the word Natsarim, spelled with an S, not a Z, is the whole meaning of that word. Not that the sect of the Nazarenes or the Netzarim was based after the city of Nazareth, because the city of Nazareth, that has been pointed out many, many times by different people's Bible scholars, etc., is really no more than an invention of Helena, Constantine's mother, because they couldn't find Nazareth at that time, so she basically invented one to validate the scriptures, where if she would have waited for archaeology, the true Nazareth, the true Natsarim, the village would have been found. See, the place that she deemed Nazareth and built a church on, etc., does not fit the scriptural description of Nazareth. So let's go to Luke chapter 4, and this is where Yeshua is speaking in his hometown synagogue, where he reads that passage from Yeshayahu that I just pointed out. And, basically he said, "This scripture is fulfilled in your ears." All spoke well of him, and they were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips. "Isn't this Joseph's son?" they asked. Yeshua said to them, "Surely you will quote this proverb to me, 'Physician, heal yourself. Do here in your hometown what we have heard you did in Capernaum.' I tell you the truth," he continued, "no prophet is accepted in his hometown. I assure you that there were many widows in Israel in Eliyahu's time, when the sky was shut for 3.5 years, and there was severe famine throughout the land. Yet Eliyahu was not sent to any of them, but the widow of Zarephath in the region of Sidon." Yada yada yada. And so basically, the people in the synagogue get all in an uproar, thinking Yeshua is being blasphemous, basically claiming to be Mashiach, claiming to be, Yahweh. And so this is what the last part of the passage says. It says, "All the people in the synagogue were furious when they heard this. They got up and drove him out of town and took him to the brow of a hill on which the town was built, in order to throw him down the cliff." They got up, drove him out of town, and took him to the brow of the hill on which the town was built, in order to throw him off the cliff. But he walked right through the crowd and went on his way. Now, the Nazareth that Constantine's mother had established had no such geography. So that is why there's a lot of agnostics, atheists, skeptics, etc., coming against, a lot of biblical scholars and things, basically saying, this Nazareth, it doesn't fit the description, it doesn't exist, and they're writing saying that Josephus doesn't mention it, and other important documents doesn't mention it, and that it only pops up after this time. That's because Constantine's mother is responsible for that. Now, the true Nazareth that we spoke of here was was a Masada-like outpost. It was built on the brow of a hill, where the top of a hill was cut off and the city was there, so people could, it was kind of a lookout city, an outpost, a village, so they can see if enemies are coming. And so there's the connotation of being protector, the word how it means protector as well. So that's kind of the whole gist of it. Kind of in a nutshell. Hopefully that explains the difference for you. We follow Yeshua, the protector of Torah, the branch from Jesse, not the Jesus from Nazareth, because that particular Nazareth didn't exist, and that's not what the scriptures are referring to. Now, another reason we can call him Netzar or Netzari, because meaning protector, is because in Matthew 5:17 through 21, he says, "Think not that I've come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill." He come to show us how to walk the Torah correctly, not totally given in to the Perushim, the Pharisees. He followed many of their teachings, many of the traditions, but he disagreed with them on the issue of divorce, and he didn't feel compelled to keep their custom of ritual hand washing that they insisted he keep. Not only that, but he didn't side with the Sadducees either, which were politically corrupt and controlled the Temple Mount. He was a Netzari. He was a protector of Torah. And so that's where we get it from. See, Karaites didn't exist at that time, and Karaites are scripture only. They don't necessarily give into all the customs and traditions brought about by the Pharisees, therefore found in the Talmud. They're scripture only. But Yeshua wasn't like that. He kept many of the traditions and customs. Rav Shaul, he said, "I am a Pharisee, not I was a Pharisee." And he kept a lot of the, he says, "I have not done anything to go against the traditions or the ethics of the fathers," in several passages where he's defending himself, like in Acts. And so, so Yeshua wasn't totally against tradition, but he just wasn't, didn't agree with every single thing the Pharisees taught or said. So that's kind of Natsarim and Netzarim, the difference in a nutshell. And technically, when you say Nazarene Jew, it should be Natsarim Jew. But the Z kind of stuck, so it's not really a big deal, but as long as you know where everything comes from. So hopefully this explains a lot of things to you. And tune in next time. We'll see you later. Shalom. Shavua Tov.